To me, the general vibration of this month really does look like kind of retreating and waiting. There's a patience here, like a patience that happens in the darkness, where the seed is comfortable being burrowed, being underground, waiting to at some point sprout into a beautiful plant. Hey everyone, my name is Phoenix Grace. I'm a professional psychic, astrologer, spiritual counselor, and I give you monthly energy updates. So I read the energy from new moon to new moon and I tell you what I see. Make sure to like and subscribe to my channel, like this video, leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you, how you experience these videos. If you like them, comment below. So this month starts off with the Scorpio new moon on November 19th at 11:47 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. I just feel like this new moon happening basically in the dead of night is so on point for the Scorpio new moon and its energy signature. When I look at the energy of this new moon, it is definitely that kind of vibe, like a middle of the night, kind of deep, introspective, transformative moment. This new moon is actually pretty exactly conjunct Mercury in retrograde at 28 degrees of Scorpio. So this new moon has a particular Mercury retrograde flavor to it, meaning that it will be a very potent time for that inner reflection, introspection, reviewing, revising, anything that Mercury in retrograde is bringing up for you this cycle. Everyone always talks about how Mercury retrograde like messes with communication, external communication, but my read on it is that Mercury in retrograde is just as much about your inner communication as it is about your external communication with others. This Mercury retrograde moment can really help kind of reorganize and revise that inner communication. It might get kind of muddled in terms of your inner dialogue with yourself and your own access to clarity. And that's actually the process of this revising process. So, what are you reevaluating? What are you revising in terms of that inner communication with yourself about a decision in your life or a project that you're working on? I talked a lot about this in my latest newsletter that I sent out, which, if you want to join, you want to receive exclusive notes from me about psychic intuition, healing yourself, and astrology, you can join my email universe at the link below. But I talked about how this month of November is not really about finding clarity. It's a murky month, and this new moon is definitely bringing a level of that murkiness to it. It's like we are sitting in the depths of the Scorpio archetype. Scorpio is kind of like a deep, stagnant, underwater kind of vibe. We are in murky, deep waters. It's not a place to make a big, bold, active decision from necessarily. It's a time of reflection, a very deep reflection into your subconscious, into your psyche. You know, we are in some of the darkest times here in the Northern Hemisphere. And that's why I love that this new moon is happening in the depths of night. It's just perfect. The ruler of this moon is Mars, which will be in Sagittarius. You know, in Sagittarius, Mars is free roaming. He's really concerned with adventure and moving on to the next big picture thing. You know, he's really focused on freedom and growth. And this new moon is interested in freedom and growth. There could be a restlessness with this new moon because it is a very still time. You're at the bottom of that deep, dark, murky pool. But there's a lot here that is asking for the light of your awareness, that is asking to be transformed. This is an incredibly transformative new moon, transformative moment. You know, the moon is not especially comfortable in Scorpio. And so I'm not saying that this is going to be the coziest deep dark pool moment, but it does hold a lot of potential for transformation. and alchemy. Mars is applying to a square with the north and south nodes of the moon at this time. And so there's a lot of tension between your past and what is familiar and what is comfortable, and the unknown of growth, where you're headed. This new moon could be a really powerful, fated time for your growth trajectory. It's not a time to stay stuck in the past. It's a time to bring the light of your awareness, your compassion to your past, and really head and orient towards the unknown, towards what is scary, towards your growth edge. The moon in Scorpio at this time of this new moon will be trining Neptune in Pisces at 29 degrees. This is an incredibly dreamy, watery moment. There's powerful access or availability to your intuition at this time, incredible opportunity to work with the energetic realms, the spiritual realms, your dreams, to work with your emotional body. This new moon is all about alchemizing what is painful, what is an illusion, into something that frees you, something that will help you move towards the unknown path of growth. And there's also a trine from Jupiter in Cancer as well here. And so this is really just, there's an abundance that is present as you do this very deep, sometimes intense inner work. So don't shy away from your growth and from your deep inner psyche work this new moon. It's a really potent time for that. And in general, I see the general vibration of this lunar month is very scorpionic in a way. For me, the general vibration of this lunar month is like the color of a night, a dark night. There is a lot that is happening behind the scenes this lunar month. And as a culture, we can tend to sort of say that nothing is happening, but there's actually a lot happening behind the scenes. There's a lot happening in the hidden realms this lunar month. It's not necessarily about being out there in your life and kind of shining your light. I see that the energy of this lunar month is more about retreat. It's more about maybe becoming aware of and seeing places where you hide, or where that retreat muscle is kind of more from a place of disempowerment or not necessarily a choice. But there is also a healthy, empowered choice of retreating, right? Like when the bear goes into hibernation. This month really, to me, has a signature of retreating and retreating into yourself, retreating into the depths of your psyche, pulling back your energy, and really finding your way through your own shadow realms. How do you relate to your darkness? How do you relate to your subconscious? How do you relate to the things that are lurking inside of you that don't always have the light of your awareness? How comfortable are you in this more dark place? To me, the general vibration of this month really does look like kind of retreating and waiting. There's a patience here, like a patience that happens in the darkness, where the seed is comfortable being burrowed, being underground, waiting to at some point sprout into a beautiful plant. But right now, it's really about that burrowing, that underground kind of moment. And so if you notice yourself kind of having that impulse to just kind of pull your energy back, there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with that. There are times, seasons, cycles in life where that is appropriate. I had a friend a few years ago channel Jesus, Yeshua. And while she was channeling Yeshua and we were all talking to him, Yeshua said something to me in particular 2 years ago around this invitation into learning, what does it mean to go dark, to not be visible, except maybe to yourself. And this is the kind of energy that I see for this lunar month, that comfortability with more solitude, with less eyes on you. What arises for you when you are in that place? Do some fears come up? Some attachments to being seen by others? So I invite you to explore and play with that this lunar month. And that brings us to the full moon happening at the middle of this lunar month in Gemini. So this full moon is happening on December 4th at 4:14 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. This full moon in Gemini really is a different vibe. It is kind of crazy and erratic, maybe like kind of tough and challenging. When I look at the energy of this full moon, it shows up into me in the images of like someone running around with their head cut off. It's just like, some pretty like wild Gemini energy for sure. So for this full moon in Gemini, there's going to be this push-pull happening, right? This opposition between Gemini and Sagittarius. Your inner dialogue is just kind of moving at a mile a minute and a big picture, kind of embodied knowing that just wants to push forward and greet the next adventure. And there's tension between these two things. Mercury rules this full moon, and Mercury will be in Scorpio. And so there still is this overall vibe of like shadow time. We're still in darkness and nighttime, but it's a little chaotic. It's overstimulating. It's kind of overwhelming, honestly. If you have a really sensitive nervous system, I would take extra care of yourself this full moon because it just looks erratic. It looks overstimulating. Not to mention that Mercury, the ruler of this full moon, will be applying to an opposition with Uranus at this time, who is in retrograde. So there's an element to this full moon, which kind of just adds some more chaos to the mix. There's this element to this full moon with that opposition in the mix there of like this brilliance, but also kind of a trickstery energy, something that you can't really control or predict. This is an incredibly mentally engaging full moon. Like I said, there's that brilliance there. I mean, the moon in Gemini is a natural born writer and speaker. So writers might especially be feeling this. You might be feeling really creatively inspired to kind of use all of this chaos energy towards your creative projects, and or you might be feeling overstimulated by it. This full moon really might inspire you to kind of think in new ways. There can also be a tendency to kind of taking the oppositional opinion. A lot of debates and arguments could happen under this full moon. You might feel extra scattered or tense. Unexpected thoughts or communications with others could cause some levels of anxiety in the body. It's important to remember with this full moon to listen just as much as you are talking. And so when I look at what will be releasing for you this full moon, what will be coming up to be worked with, I see a lot around the fifth chakra, the communication space, of course. Old ways of communicating, maybe more shallow ways of communication, ways that you communicate that has more to do with social programming than your authentic truth. And with Gemini, there is this kind of transmedium quality to this archetype. And by that, I mean this ability to become something that you are not. And so if you ever hear yourself kind of saying to yourself, oh gosh, I really sound like my mom, or I really sound like this person that, in my family that really shaped me, you could actually be releasing or alchemizing these ways of communication that you've picked up that are not actually yours energetically or not actually true to you, but that you've kind of used because of habit or survival. And you might be alchemizing those this full moon. So be easy, be gentle on yourself, and just be aware that that process could be happening. There's absolutely nothing wrong with becoming something that you are not. It's often how we learn about who we actually are. And when I look at what's helpful for you for this full moon, I really see the energy of that phrase, like touch grass, connect with the earth, Soothe that busy, stimulated mind or nervous system with some earth connection, with some staring out at a blank field. Don't put a lot of pressure on yourself to do. Give yourself those kind of graceful moments of just being. Let the thoughts run wild. Let the brilliance of this full moon move through you. Just give your nervous system some extra care or self-soothing during this time. It's okay to change your mind. It's okay to not know. It's okay to be in process of figuring it out. For the rest of this lunar month, post this full moon moment, the vibe definitely shifts. It is more of a neutral purple vibration. It's got signatures of more kind of chill, but also kind of weird, Aquarian or cosmic to it. When I look at the energy of this time after the full moon, before the next new moon, it's kind of floaty. It's like time outside of time. Spiritual practices look very supported during this time of year, during this time, this next time of the month, really connecting to your cosmic self, your cosmic ancestry. And so if you feel kind of floaty after this full moon, that's actually okay. It's okay. You're integrating a lot. And spiritually, you're just kind of taking it all in. This time of the month looks like a really great time to kind of be open to new perspectives. It looks expansive. And just let yourself kind of chill out and open your perception at this time of the month. All right, y'all, that's my read for this lunar month, starting with the new moon in Scorpio. If you resonated with this, I'd love to hear what you think in the comments below, and or send this to a friend, somebody who you feel like would appreciate having this kind of energy update for this month. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.